just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
And I'm the Indie Kid.
Just want to take a quick moment, and you guys saw the picture there at the beginning. Just thoughts and prayers go out to the family, the friends of Paris Harrelson. Obviously, way too young, man. Way too young. VFL. Just wanted to take just a brief moment there and send out thoughts and prayers to his family. Let's before we get rolling, we're going to check out the chat. We're going to see who's here. We got a lot to talk about tonight, but first and foremost,
you guys want to get an advantage over your sports book, you need to head over to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download BetQL, the only app you need to make smart bets. Their computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. Also gives you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from spreads to over-unders and player prop bets. But I know how some of you guys are. You don't always listen. You want to play armchair quarterback, and that's fine. If you want to do the work yourself, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. Sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movements, you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. They've also got great team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over-under. So go to try.betql.co/Vols to get started now. Going to drop all the links in the description below, but if you use that promo code VOLS at checkout, you're going to save 25% on all subscription offerings. They also have a deal where you can get an entire year of BetQL for free. So jump in the description below. Check that out, BetQL.
I'll go ahead and add to this is just a little bonus plug at the end. I was talking to our contact over at BetQL. If you're an NFL guy, the BetQL's algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets for week 1 NFL games between Thursday and Sunday. So guys, go over there, check it out, beat your sports book, make all kinds of money with BetQL. But let's get into it. Let's talk a little UT football. Let's see who is hanging out in the chat. Jeremy Webb was here bright and early. He's encouraging everybody to stay positive. That seems to be an ongoing theme in the chat. Guys are saying, guys, just stay confident. Let's not lose it. You know, I think the reality is that you got to be somewhere in the middle, right? There's negative people. There's sunshine pumpers. I think the reality is somewhere right here in the middle. That's where we try to keep it. Kyle Palmer is here. What's up, Kyle? Come on in, guys. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up. Get it out of the way early, and then I won't have to talk about it, and we can talk about football. IC86 is here. Says, hello, everyone. Chris Bradley is our PR guy. He says, this is the best channel on the internet. Well, that is mighty kind. Thank you, Chris, for that. Cody Branch is here. Like I said, guys, come on in, smash that thumbs up. We'll get things going. Indie Kid, you were pissed. I'm starting things off tonight with you. You were pissed off, Saturday afternoon. Some people liked it. I saw some people saying at least the Indie Kid has a little fire in him. At least he cares. I guess me and Dauber don't care, but have you calmed down? You still pissed off? Where are you at?
I'm about right here. I agree with this. I'm almost apathetic. Nobody's going to change my mind that Tennessee should have won that game. We're not going with excuses that Tennessee blew that game. Yeah, I'm calmed down. I've asked around about the whole, I don't know, people who know football better than I do. I asked about the half yard, and guy I coach with, he said, if they hadn't run it the whole game, he said, nowadays, he said, it's not like the old days. He said, there's some centers, they get to college, they've never hardly snapped under center. So he said, it's not as common as you think anymore, which made sense. But I still think I don't know. I'm just tired of losing, man. And especially when it's a winnable game. If they would have lost by, if they would have gotten their butts kicked, that's one thing. But I don't know, man. At some point, you got to start winning these games. I don't care. I understand the circumstances. I understand what they've lost. I understand. But, man, there were so many missed opportunities out there. And, I got some heat on it on the day after. And let me kind of clarify what I meant by this. I said, does Josh Heupel improve or does he let this define his legacy? I didn't say this was a game definer by any means. It can be, but does he learn from it? Do they move forward? Do they avoid these errors and mistakes moving forward? Or do we look back in a few years and say, yeah, that set the tone for his tenure? That's kind of what I meant at. I by no means saying that the Heupel tenure's over or anything, but tough loss, yeah. I mean, and looking back too, the ref calls, man, are hard to swallow. Also,
well, yeah, you're right. You're right. And a lot of people have talked about the officiating, and I agree. But when you have an opportunity to win the game and you fail, when you have a 4th and inches and you go out of shotgun and you get tackled for a 2-3 yard loss, that's on you. That's not on officiating. You had an opportunity, you didn't execute, you didn't get it done, and we can talk about that. I still agree with what you said. 4th and inches, you don't go out of shotgun. And when Heupel confirmed post game, and you talked about it on the day after video, that they do have packages where they go under center, then that tells me that they do practice it, and there's no excuse. And when you look at the talking heads across all of Vol Nation, guys like Swain, guys like Ainge, the VolQuest guys, everybody that seems to have a grasp on football and football knowledge is all in agreement that you go under center and you run the quarterback sneak. I've also seen a lot of people talking about it being a read option and that Hendon Hooker should have pulled it. It was not a read option. I don't know where this came from. I saw a lot of people saying that Josh Heupel said it post-game. He said the complete opposite post-game. He said it wasn't a read option. He said there was some miscommunication up front, but it was a straight run play. So Hendon Hooker did not have that opportunity to pull it and run it. It was a run play. It is what it is. But Dauber, when you look at the grand scheme of things from Saturday, you're talking about a football team that turned the ball over 3 times, 13 penalties, all the negatives, the missed touchdowns from Milton. This team, they were gritty and they fought till the end. And that's something that I admire Hendon Hooker for, because he led that team down the field twice, down 2 touchdowns, and kept them in the game. You got to like some of the grit, some of the fight that you saw from Saturday.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Here is the thing. After all that, lost the game by 7. It's the way they lost. It's the missed opportunities. It's the self-inflicted penalties, the mistakes, the 3 turnovers. I know we were down 3 starters even before they teed it up. And we saw the impact, especially Mays on the offensive line. I think that was a big-time loss. You're talking
Evans.
Evans. And then you lose 3 guys during the game in Small, Milton, and Hyatt, arguably your fastest wide receiver. It's one of those things. I said last Tuesday, this team has to play clean football in these games that we kind of consider toss-ups or 50-50s or games that are going to be tight. They don't have the tolerance to make mistakes like that. They don't have the depth and the talent between the first and second team of Tennessee and the first and second team of teams like Pitt or Florida or Alabama. There's such a wide gap right there. When you drop down and you're playing second team guys against first team guys, it's a big time gap. So right now you have to play mistake-free football. And they just didn't get it done Saturday.
We talked about the shotgun play just real quick, and we talked about Tennessee not going under center. It's a funny thing on the other side. Pitt went shotgun the whole game, but yet they needed that half yard. What'd they do? They got up and Kenny Pickett got the half yard with the sneak.
Yeah.
So
Let me get caught up on some super chats here. This was the ongoing topic in the Talkin VAWLS group. I didn't even respond to it. JJ Reviews for $2.99. Thank you for the super chat. Says, which one of you is not wearing pants? Well, we'll continue to keep that a mystery, but thank you for the super chat. JJ's Reviews. Skids is VFL for $5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, after JG spelled quarterback sneak in 2019, I never want to see us under center again. Yeah, well, battered ball syndrome, I guess. Cody Branch for $2. Thank you, Cody. Says, if Florida backup plays, we won't win. He can ball.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Florida, the guy that's Florida's backup's better than Jones. I don't know if he's played the same competition, but that would be par for the course with Tennessee.
I was going to say that would be the most Tennessee thing ever is for the backup to take over next week and put a beating on Tennessee. Joshua Harmon for 10. It's a big-time super chat. We appreciate it. It says, can we all agree if we would have fell down by 14 points under Pruitt, the team would have quit? This team has fight. It's exciting. I've seen a lot of people saying that if this was a Pruitt coach team, they would have got blown out against Pitt on Saturday. Skids is VFL back for another 2. How many reps does a starting left guard actually take at center?
He takes them.
I want to get caught up on the super chats, but I do want to kind of mention that, talking about the offensive line. Do you not think you've got to find a way to get Cade? I'm more concerned about the guard position than I am center. Are you not? Can they not find a way to get Cade Mays slid into guard? And then what happened to Dane Davis at tackle? I thought he was the 6th guy after Calvert went down, and that's just not the case. It seems to be that Ollie Lane's the 6th guy, and he did okay against Bowling Green. He got dominated by Pitt, and I know that's a huge upgrade in talent. They got to figure something out. Which this week Tennessee Tech, hopefully Cooper Mays is healthy, but that's a concern going into the season is the depth on that offensive line.
Absolutely, and the defensive lines that we're going to see are only going to get better, bigger, faster, stronger. So it's going to be a grind all year. So that's something that has to be shored up starting this Saturday in Knoxville.
Yeah, the gauntlet's coming after this week. I mean, it's a gauntlet after that. But, yeah, I'm the same as you. I mean, we heard all through spring how Dane Davis was grading out easily top 5 of linemen, and then it seemed like he was – worst case, the 6th guy, and now you've got Ollie Lane in there. And I mean, I know it's Kingston Harrison at left guard. So I'm with you. I would like to see Cade slide down to guard. And then, I mean, because Spraggins, I mean, how many holding calls did he have Saturday? The line had a bad day. But I mean, a part of me does wonder how much that had to do with Cooper Mays not being there. I mean, I think Carvin did fine for the most part at center, but we're better off with him at guard than at center.
Yep. Let me get caught up on the
we said depth was going to be an issue. Depth. So somebody don't think I'm saying the death chart like a video at some point. So
Eric S. Jones for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I agree, Dauber, they got to clean up those mistakes. Go Big Orange. That's why it was such a weird game. You gave up 27 in the second quarter, but you lost by 7, but it's all correctable mistakes. So that's, I think that's something positive to take away. Drew Truesdale for 10. That is a big time super chat. Thank you, Drew. He says, got to clean it up and keep moving forward. It's only concerning if the mistakes keep happening. Also, somebody please hit that like button. He says, Gavin Blackwell for 10. Thank you, Gavin, for the super chat. Says Tennessee Vols and SC Trojans, 2 historically significant programs that have fallen from prominence. Common denominator, Lane Kiffin replaced a national championship winning coach. Let me take 2 seconds and brag on Gavin real quick. We had a cool little deal that happened a couple of weeks ago. Christopher Wu, he's a member of the Facebook group. He's also a member of the channel. He wasn't able to make it into the game. He gave away his tickets. I talked about that on air. And one of our other listeners was able to take his son to his first ever Tennessee game, which what a cool moment. Like that's what this whole thing's about. I love seeing stuff like that happen. So Gavin Blackwell actually won the T-shirt giveaway. So I had got in touch with him and asked him what shirt he wanted. And he said he had already bought a couple of shirts. He had bought a water bottle, and he's like, I want to pay it forward. Why don't you yell at Christopher Wu and tell him thanks for sending that other guy a ticket. So Christopher Wu gets a free T-shirt. As much as some of this fan base is negative and they yell at us and they want to hit the thumbs down 30 seconds after we go live, this community has some awesome people, and you guys make it worthwhile. So shout out to Gavin for paying it forward. But Mark Williams for 5, thank you for the super chat, says 30,000 foot view, guys. Second game of a new coach, new everything. This team only has 70 scholarship players. It's a huge. Is he wanting to bring in Hugh Freeze? Is that what that is? Maybe that's an autocorrect. Yeah, look, I think it is kind of funny that, you know, when Josh Heupel was hired, everybody talked about how this program sucks. It's rock bottom, yada, yada, yada. Then somehow the narrative got spun that they're going to win 9-10 games. Now people are pissed. It's a huge rebuild. We got to be patient as much as we don't want to. Cole Dockery for 5. Love what y'all are doing. It really calms me down. Calms you down after losses? Have you been here the last 2 weeks? My blood pressure is through the ceiling after post-game shows. He says, listening to y'all and hearing y'all say the same things I've been saying for years. Well, Cole, I'm glad you enjoy what we do, but I don't know that we calm anybody. My blood pressure always rises. Wes McLaughlin, now a member of the channel. Thanks for joining. Drop those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis in the chat. Welcome to the channel. Let me pull up a fan question from the Facebook group today. Charles Beasley. He says, Boogie, you said that the path to 6 wins is now harder after the loss to Pitt. What do you guys believe is that path? What is the path to 6 wins? My opinion is Tennessee Tech, South Alabama, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina, and then get 1 win between Kentucky and Missouri. He says, my opinion is a better shot at Missouri. That's your 6. And that's, you know, it goes back to what we talked about leading up to this season, how big, how crucial that Pitt game was. And for me, if they wanted to get to 6 wins, you had to beat Pitt. That road is now a little bit more difficult. Dauber, what if they get 6 wins? What's the path to 6 wins? And do you still even believe they can get to 6 wins?
I think that was dead on. I think the Kentucky and Missouri are going to be. You got to get one of those. I don't have a lot of faith moving forward, going down to Gainesville in 2 weeks or a week and a half, just based off of the discipline or lack of discipline and the mistakes that we've seen up to this point. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you go through the rest of this week. You have a good game Saturday against Tennessee Tech, a good week of practice. I mean, you could go down to Florida and play a good tight ball game. And the one thing I will say about this team is special teams. We do seem to have something rolling right there. I think Eckler has that unit rolling. So that could be a difference. That going back to General Neyland, that's one of the maxims. Press the kicking game. That's where the breaks are made. So,
and we got a lot of dudes, man. I mean, a lot of RLDs, real live dudes that are flying around, and we should wreck shop.
What about you, Indy Kid? Do you think they still have a shot at 6 wins?
I agree with the listener on that. The guy in the group, I agree with the question, and I agree how you get there. I think it comes down to either Missouri or Kentucky, and I think Missouri is the more winnable game than Kentucky.
And
yep.
They're both on the road, so that's another tough part of that equation.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be easy, and especially if they're undisciplined. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of hearing about fight and stuff. I get it, but last year there wasn't much fight. The year before, when they lost to Georgia State and BYU, that team showed fight that year because they bounced back and won 8 games. So to say that there never was under Pruitt and everybody knows how much I dislike Pruitt, but that was not the case 2 years ago. They did fight for him. I felt that year they did play hard for him, and of course, a lot of that had to do with the leaders that he had at that time, also. But man, I'm over moral victories, and I think 6 is possible, but some of those games are. Don't know much about South Alabama. Vanderbilt's awful. South Carolina, I mean, I think I think where Tennessee will have the advantage there is Tennessee's offense is a lot more high profile than South Carolina's. But, South Carolina gets their main quarterback back this week. We'll see what kind of difference that makes. We'll see. I still think there's a shot.
The video I posted this morning, you talking about, you're sick of hearing about fight and moral victories and all that stuff. And, I made a video this morning talking about it because that's, the team did show fight, but guess what? At the end of the day, they still lost. And as fans, we watched that game, and as it unfolds, we talked about it. I don't remember if it was on air, off air. You had no confidence. You had no confidence that Tennessee was going to win that game. Even when it got down to one score and they're driving late to try to tie the game, you didn't have that confidence. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is wins and losses. So when you talk about grit and fight, and you talk about fighting through adversity, and that's something we touched on all spring camp, all fall camp, because, Heupel's trying to rebuild this culture and talking about atmosphere and family and all this stuff. And it's all coach speak, and it's all just talk. What happens when the bullets start flying and it counts? Well, you lost. You lost a Pitt. So for me, where it does matter, where the fight and the grit and all that, where it matters is how does this team respond? And we know they're going to go and they're going to beat the brakes off of Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech this is a scrimmage. This is nothing more than a scrimmage. How do they respond against Florida? If they go down there to Gainesville and they get the doors blown off of them, then fighting through adversity and grit and toughness, it doesn't matter. Go down to Gainesville and compete and show me something, and then I'll start to buy in that the culture is changing, because I do truly believe that Josh Heupel is doing good things, and I do truly believe that he is changing the culture. But again, it's easy. It's easy in the offseason. It's easy when you're winning, but when you're coming off of a loss to Pitt and you got to regroup and get ready for Florida, it starts to become a little bit more difficult.
Well, and here's the thing. What's the measuring stick for a Tennessee coach?
Beat Florida,
Georgia,
Alabama.
Alabama. That's it. Yep.
So you really are looking at how do we compete against those teams right now? That shows your grit. That shows your fight, because those are the top right now, and we're working our way out of I'm going to say lower quarter of the conference. Can we play with those teams at the top?
Yeah.
And if they go down there and they lose to Florida, but they show that same grit and fight that they showed down the stretch against Pitt, I'm okay with that. If they compete week in and week out, it's year one. Somebody left a comment on one of the videos this week saying, year one, you just want to be competitive, keep everything close. Year two, you got to start winning some of these games. And I agree with that. So I'm not saying they have to go down there and beat Florida. I just want to see that same fight. And I want to see people like Tyler Barron, who yesterday after practice was pissed off. And he basically said, I don't care that Coach Heupel said I played good. I didn't play good enough. And that's the type of attitude. Can you keep that mindset if the L's continue to come your way? That's what I want to see. Philip Scow for 5, thank you for the super chat, says, I'm so proud of our guys in spite of everything. Take away 2 horrible calls and Tennessee wins big. Again, I agree there were some bad calls, but also if Joe Milton can connect to a wide open receiver, none of those calls matter anyway. Craig Mills drops a 20. That's a big time super chat. Says adversity after shooting ourselves in the foot all game. Our boys never gave up the fight. Go Big Orange. Dropping those power T emojis. Thank you, Craig, for the super chat. John Marzullo for 5, coming from a Pitt fan. You'll beat Kentucky by 14, assuming you complete any passes at all. It's like a come on. What is this? What is this? He says UK seems overrated to me, and Pitt defensive front is good. Yeah, Pitt. We said that leading into the game. They're a good defensive front. Robert 45 Tennessee for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, who has the Gators even played yet to say they're good? Well, until Tennessee beats Florida, I'm always going to pick Florida. It's just, it is what it is. Michael Lee for 5. If you would have told me last year that we would have played like this, I would have told you you're crazy. But I'm surprised by Theo Jackson. # best ball. Yeah, kids balling out. People are going to start taking notice. Rocky Top Proudy? Is that what that says, Indy Kid? Rocky Top Proudy for 2.
Rocky Top Rowdy.
Clearly, I can't read. Boogie Dauber and Indy Kid, love the show. Go Big Orange. Sorry, I don't know how to read, Rocky Top Rowdy, but I do appreciate the super chat. Dustin Sellers for 5 says, maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I'd like to believe Pitt is just as good as South Carolina, Missouri, and Kentucky. I'm hoping we can bring the same fight to those toss-ups. That's the thing. That's the whole point of the last 10 minutes of conversation is all these toss-up games. I felt like if they got Pitt, then they were getting out front, and now it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Thank you guys for the super chats. We appreciate that. Also, make sure we got 235 people watching live. Make sure you guys do go ahead and smash the thumbs up. We're about halfway there. Let's get it up to 200. Make Boogie happy, and then I'll drop it and leave it alone. You guys want to take another question from a listener? Let's see here. All right, here's the big question. Eric Jones, he's a member of the channel. He dropped a super chat earlier. We appreciate the support. He dropped this question in the Talkin VAWLS Facebook group. He says, got 2 questions. Who do you think Heupel will trot on the field this Saturday to start as quarterback against Tennessee Tech? We're only 27 minutes in before this came up. And he says, and who do y'all think he should start as quarterback against Tennessee Tech? Go Big Orange. So 2 questions there, Indy Kid. Number 1, who do you think he's going to start? And number 2, who does the Indy Kid trot out there against Tennessee Tech as the starter?
If healthy, he's going to trot Joe Milton out. Man, that's a tough one. I'll lean Hooker, but gosh, man, I don't know. It's a tough one. I got to go Hooker, I believe, but Milton's close to being a really, and I know, got to hit the deep passes, but I was listening. I told you guys about before coming on. I was listening to the Go Vols 24/7 podcast with Rucker and Callahan today, and they were talking about Milton, and they made the point he's hitting these passes in practice. They're not going to be calling those plays if he can't hit them. So, is it some kind of? I don't know what the deal is with it, but a couple people saying Milton's already been named the starter, so I guess there you go. But
they released the depth chart, and he was listed as the starter. So they've still not commented on the injury.
But I don't think you closed the book on him. But man, his window opportunity's got to be getting smaller because if you can't hit that deep pass, and that's a part of their playbook. Hey, you don't blame.
That shrinks the field, so that crowds everybody within 15 yards of the ball, and
go back and look at the play calling when Hooker came in the game. They did not take any shots. He hit the one to Warren over the middle, but it was 20, 25-ish. It wasn't a deep shot.
You shrink the field. That offensive scheme does not work.
No, the scheme was working great. It's just he couldn't hit the passes.
You got to execute.
And that's I was talking to a friend today. If you look at the past 2 games, you look at the plays that Milton has missed on. The wide receivers are open. The play calling is working. The schemes are working. It's just the execution.
Yep.
So that is something to take forward and look at it. Is it something like a golfer with the yips? Is it he can't make the 4-foot putt? Can he not do this? Boogie just said everybody's reporting he makes these passes in practice. So what's the deal?
And practice matters. I know people, when they talk about Harrison Bailey, they talk about, he's a gamer. He just doesn't practice well. If you want the opportunity to compete in a game, you got to do it in practice first. Why would a coach, Dauber's favorite word when he's talking about Heupel is trust. Why is a coach going to trot you out there if he doesn't have that trust in you? Clearly, he has some type of trust in Joe Milton. And, we get crucified for saying anything positive about Joe Milton. But I just think it's interesting that, and you have to look at the deep ball, right? You have to. It's slapping you right in the face. But I think Joe Milton does everything else well. I think his intermediate passes, his short passes are good. He's shown that he can throw the swing pass. Everything else looks good. But then I also kind of wonder about play calling. Why wouldn't you give him more intermediate passes? Why wouldn't you give him more quick stuff? Let him try to get in a groove. He just seems so uncomfortable. And like you said, Dauber, I don't know if it's like a golfer that's got it just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
But that's a good point, Boogie. Get him in a rhythm. How many times did was it the second quarter that it seemed like we ran 5 deep balls, like just boom, 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 boom.
That was first quarter.
Set something up. Get him in a flow. Get him in the game. Maybe it's mental. Get his head right. Get him. A playmaker makes plays, but he's got to find that rhythm. A jump shooter's only as good as his next shot, and he's got to get that blood pumping and make his first shot for the second one to go down.
All that said, going back to the question and going back to, everybody tells me about my love fest with Joe Milton. Saturday, I was ready to see Hendon Hooker. I was ready for a change, man. And I thought Hendon Hooker looked good. And I honestly feel like if it was me, I would almost go with Hendon Hooker. And I would tell Joe Milton, if you want your job back, you're gonna have to prove something. You're gonna have to go above and beyond and prove that I can trust you to go out there and make the big time throws. Otherwise, I'm rolling with Hendon Hooker. And I know he threw the interception and he had the fumble. I still felt like he looked good. He reminded me of Josh Dobbs running the football, that elusiveness. I think Hendon Hooker can run this offense.
But you just said he doesn't throw the ball deep either.
Nope.
So what's the difference of missing on the deep balls and then the offensive staff not calling deep balls because you can't throw it deep?
Yep. And it goes back to the very beginning. Why did this staff go with Joe Milton?
Right.
Clearly they don't trust Hendon Hooker and Harrison Bailey to throw the deep ball. I think the Harrison Bailey thing comes down to his ability to escape pressure. I think that's it. And it is what it is. I don't think he necessarily fits this scheme.
Escape pressure and extend plays, I think is what the key is. And I don't think any one of us has said that the kid doesn't deserve to be there or doesn't deserve a shot. I just schematically, I don't think he works.
No.
I honestly think had Trout stayed, he would have fit this offense really well. I mean, based on what we saw of Bailey last year, I mean, he did okay, but he didn't do great. He didn't do bad, but that was the big thing, man. It was holding on to the ball, getting rid of it, making quick decisions. I mean, when he had time, he did fine, but when he had to make the quick decisions, he got sacked quite a bit. And I just think he needs more time. And I really think it's a case. We've said it. I said I would play him this week some, but, I know, Boogie, you said in the video, and I've heard others say it as well. I really don't think it's that close between him and Hooker for the backup. I think he's a distant third, which doesn't mean he's bad, but by any means. But I just think the other two guys are ahead. And it's like you said earlier, these coaches are the ones, they're getting paid to do this. Yes, as fans, we're going to question coaches. Everybody does it every year. This guy's better than this guy. I've done it with UT. I've done it with the Braves. I've done it with Manchester United, the Raiders, whomever. Lakers. I've done it with all of them. We've all done it. But, the bottom line, they're seeing these guys every day. There's a reason they're playing them in the order it is. There was no conspiracy that Heupel promised Milton the job when he came or anything like that. And they said it on the podcast today I was listening to about talking to people close and around the program that most people said that Milton's tools, what he did, he was very impressive in the summer. And everybody, they said almost everybody talked to would have been shocked if he did not start. And something else a lot of people says, well, a lot of people's got it confused. Heupel did not bring in Hendon Hooker. He came in with Jeremy Pruitt but he did stay. So there's, but I don't know.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say it's an interesting decision, but I don't think you close the book on Milton. But, I would definitely put his job on the line also.
I would, just to put a bow on all this quarterback talk, I would go back to what you said about how close was Bailey. If Bailey was not close to Hendon Hooker at all and Joe Milton's healthy, I would play Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker. I'd play them both and say, whoever plays better is starting against Florida. I would tell them going into the game, guys, we're playing Tennessee Tech. They suck. We're going to blow them out. Whichever one of you plays better is going to start against Florida. Now, if Joe Milton's not healthy, I'm going to play Hendon Hooker majority of the game, and I'm going to get him as ready as possible to go start against Florida, because that's the thing too. Joe Milton, he won the job, so he has been taking all of the QB1 reps in practice for 2 weeks leading up to the first game, and then once the season started. So Hendon Hooker just kind of got thrown to the fire. So if he's the guy against Florida, I would give him Tennessee Tech to get ready for that. If Harrison Bailey's not that close, there's no sense in playing him. There's no point. If you're not going to use him in the game against Florida, then I don't roll him out against Tennessee Tech. John Marzullo for 5 says, also was in Knox for the game and listened to your show and will continue to listen even though I'm not a Vols fan. Good luck the rest of the way. Wow. That's big time praise for if you're listening and you're not a Vols fan. We appreciate that, John, and thank you for the super chat. Eric asked Jones for 2. Said, I think Hooker should get the start over Milton. It's hard to argue. He's just got to protect the football. They both have to protect the football. Dustin Sellers for 5. Sounds dirty, but them balls got to drop at some point. I should have made Dauber read that one. Thank you, Dustin, for the super chat. Franz, walk up for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says they need to give Hooker the complete playbook. I feel like they limited his potential. Yeah, I agree with that. That's something that we talked about in the post-game show. It felt like the playbook shrunk when Hendon Hooker came into the game. I think you got to open it up. But again, it goes back to Dauber's favorite word.
Trust.
John London for 5. Get the wide receiver in space 5 to 15 yards downfield and let them do their thing. Yeah, that goes back to what I said about Joe Milton. Like, look what Callaway did with the ball in his hands. Call some more of those. Let Joe Milton get the ball out quick.
Playmakers make plays.
Yeah.
But
let him go make plays.
45-yard screen pass for a touchdown down the sideline. That's making a play right there.
Wes McLaughlin, let me get caught up. I'm almost done with super chats. Wes McLaughlin just says, here's a $10 tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that. Undying Voice for 2. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Josh Harmon for 5. Milton seems like the better teammate compared to Bailey. Anytime the camera was on the sideline, Joe was engaged with Hendon and Bailey was not. Yeah, that's something I saw some people talking about this week as well, is the fact that Joe Milton, even though he was out, he was the first one to meet Hendon Hooker when he came off the field. Go ahead, Dauber. What do you got?
I was just going to say, if you're playing both guys and using it as a audition for the Florida game, what are you basing it on? Are you basing it on completions or yardage or touchdowns, or are you looking at it more who's making the best reads, who is doing those little things as a quarterback that don't necessarily get noticed in the completions or the touchdowns?
I think you're just going to look at overall body of work, but the big thing is you got to protect the football. Like that's the thing is I feel like for us as podcast hosts, it's not a podcast, it's a live stream. Indy kids, stop saying it. You're making me say it. When we try to come on here and do the show, I feel like we can't say anything positive about Joe Milton because immediately it's, well, he can't throw the deep ball. He overthrew everybody. He can't throw the deep ball. And then you try to say something positive about Hendon Hooker. Well, he turned the ball over. He's horrible. You know what I mean? So you got to protect the football, but I'm looking at overall body of work. That's what I'm looking at.
I think with Hooker, something, again, I keep referring back to the podcast I listened to today, but they said at Virginia Tech, Hooker only threw 7 interceptions over a couple seasons. So that's not, like he's an interception machine. And you made mention of this in the video about the quarterback. When he rolled left, he was not comfortable.
That was a huge point. Yeah.
And you notice they went away from it. They did it a couple times after he got stripped of the ball. They did not go back to it. I just don't think he was comfortable that way. And that's kind of an awkward way as a righty to be running to. I mean, it's more natural to be running, throwing on the go, going to your right. But, I mean, both guys – I still say Milton did some good things. You know, he did. He missed the deep passes, but he made some dimes, some real good short passes. And, I mean, he did pull it down and run. Unfortunately, the offensive line tacked on a lot of yards and penalties. But, no, it's I'm with you. I play both guys heavily this week. I don't think Bailey is and some people mentioned Chad. I don't even know that you'd want Bailey playing behind this line because he can keep a defense honest, but he's not going to do what Hooker nor Milton did with their legs. He's just not. And I definitely think Hooker is more dynamic than Milton. But you saw Milton, I mean, busted that 54-yarder. So, I mean, he can get out and go too.
And look what they set up by being able to run the football and not just obviously extending plays is huge, especially behind the offensive line that's struggling. Look what they set up at those quarterback. I love that little play where the quarterback eases up to the line and they lean, and then they'll drop back and pat. Look, it set up Hendon Hooker's touchdown pass to Jacob Warren. Like that keeps those linebackers guessing. And I think it, you know, people question why do you want a mobile quarterback? Because that's another guy you have to defend. It adds a dynamic to that offense.
Why would you
not
want a mobile quarterback?
Yes. I love it. I think it adds so much to this offense. The Godfather is here. Donovan Milliken with a $50 super chat. He lays down the gauntlet. He says, yeah, these super chat. I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to drop a 50 on these guys. Thank you, Donovan. We appreciate it, buddy. He says 66 plays last game. Have to get that up like Heupel wants. We have to get pressure on the quarterback and force some turnovers. Tennessee will beat Florida. I'm calling it 31-27. Well, Donovan, I hope you are right. We appreciate that super chat, and I hope you are right. But, you know, he brings up quarterback pressure. How big of a deal is it that this football team gets Byron Young back?
Huge. That's a presence that we've not had. That's somebody to set the edge, somebody to get that pressure. It'll be big time.
Do you think they put him on one side, Tyler? Because I think Tyler Barron's looked good these first couple of games. I think he's looked good. And when it's, you know, third long passing situations, you put Barron on one side, Young on the other, and pin their ears back and get after it.
I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see him. He's never played an SEC. He's never played a D1 down.
Got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, it's not that I doubt it, but we've heard these urban legends at Tennessee before, and then they just kind of been.
It's every single spring camp, every single fall camp we hear about who's flashing. But, yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited to see what he can do. Evan Counts for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says Bailey still has 3 years of eligibility after this year. Right, basically as a freshman still. Right. Well, yeah, technically
4.
5. If you red shirts. So, and there's rumors floating around about that Heupel wants to redshirt him. I don't know what to believe. I don't know.
He can still play him in 4 games, though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. It'll
all work itself out. I mean, if he's going to be the guy, it'll work itself out.
Yeah, there you go. Mark Williams, that's spot on right there. Good Lord.
Yeah.
JJ Peterson.
Yeah.
Let me hit these backwards here. Ryan Charlin for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, obviously we had opportunities to win the Pitt game and did not capitalize, but why did we have an ACC officiating crew against an ACC team? Yeah, that's a good question. If I had the answer for that, but I don't. Yeah.
Especially when it's on the road. I mean, if anything, it should have been an SEC crew at home. It's just
typical.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't get it.
Cole Dockery for 2. Thank you for the super chat. And this wants to lead to a question I was about to throw on you guys. I'd like to see more DBs rotate in on first team Saturday. How close do you guys? I know Indy Kid talked about it. Christian Charles blocks the punt Saturday against Pitt, showed his athleticism. I feel like McCullough and Flowers are struggling a bit back there at safety. Any chance you think Christian Charles gets a chance at that safety spot sooner rather than later?
Keep making plays, and they got to put you out there. I mean, that's where guys make their mark is special teams. You do that one or two more times, and man, it's hard to keep you off the field defensively.
Any kid wants to talk about Alontae Taylor, I can tell.
No, I mean, I looked at Willie Martinez's comments today, and he wasn't very complimentary of the secondary. I mean, he didn't trash them by any means, but they have to make more plays. Warren Burrell made some nice plays. He got a pass interference or so. Man, Taylor, I'd like to see somebody push him. Love the guy. Great Vol as far as I know how much he loves Tennessee and stuff, but I don't know, man. I've just never seen it. I've never seen it. How many times? And I would like to see some of these transfers, Turnage and Haddon, a little bit more. And obviously they're probably not ready, but that secondary needs more depth and needs to be pushed. Other than Theo Jackson, who has played his butt off, secondary lacks a lot to be desired. Christian Charles, McDonald at safety. Haddon, Turnage, Slaughter. I know Willie Martinez made the comment that Slaughter played 6 plays in place of Theo Jackson on Saturday, and he graded out great. So, that's another guy could get. I want to see Alontae Taylor either step up and earn it or somebody move him out. Because, when you don't hear him, you don't – when you hear his name, unfortunately, it's normally not for a good reason.
Donovan with another $10 super chat. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Says, Indy Kid is right about legends. Cordell Patterson was the only one we really got. We expect – was the only really we – can I not read, or is this not typed out right? Donovan, what are you doing to me? Cordell Patterson was the only really we got what we expected from after big hype. Alex Cole for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, sorry I'm late, but has there been a health update on Milton? Love the show, guys. Thank you, Alex. We appreciate that. The last I heard was Heupel did not say anything, but the depth chart did come out, and Big Joe Milton was listed as the starter. So take that for what it's worth. We're going to get into predictions here in just a moment, but I do want to go ahead and take the time to share this. We do have, what do we got? 263 people watching live, 162 thumbs up. Help me out, guys. Let's get it to 200. Just hit thumbs up. If you like what we do, if you're here, if you're hanging out, if you're enjoying the show, just hit thumbs up. It plays into analytics. What it does is it pushes our show out to other people searching for Tennessee shows. So that's why we encourage it. That's why we harp on it. It does help the channel. So if you would smash that thumbs up just below the video, we would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to show some support to the channel, you can pick up the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. Just go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We've got several different designs, different styles, different colors, all that stuff. Everybody wanted a Talkin VAWLS flat bill hat until the Talkin VAWLS flat bill hat is available. Then nobody wants it. So maybe I'll just delete it, but if you like it, get in where you fit in, go pick one up. We've got the toboggan. I made that just so I could buy one. That was it. Nobody's going to buy one but me. I'll buy it. I'll wear it. It'll be awesome. We got baseball merchandise, hoops merchandise, and then the old school clean logo look. And then for those of you that like to drink a little coffee, we got coffee mugs. And for those of you like Dauber that like to pour a little bit of rum into your water bottles, we've got stainless steel water bottles as well. But any and all support, greatly appreciated. If not, that's cool. Just smash that thumbs up. We would appreciate it.
I keep waiting to see some pictures on Twitter or Facebook from some listeners repping in Neyland and some stuff like that out on the town.
Yeah, I want to see one out in the wild. I want to just walk up on somebody that has a Talkin VAWLS shirt on that I'm not related to. That'd be great. That'd be great.
My wife, when she came in for Fun Fest and did Crazy 8, she said when she was down doing it, she saw a guy with the Talkin VAWLS shirt on down there.
And she didn't talk to him, did she? Nope. She should have talked to him.
Nope.
Yeah, we got to get. If you guys have Talkin VAWLS merch, just post it on Twitter. I've got. Let me scroll the link. It's our personal accounts there, but also at Talkin VAWLS _pod. Tweet it out. I would love to see it. I'll retweet it, blast it out to our followers. I want to see you guys repping Talkin VAWLS merch. That'd be cool. Skids is VFL for 5 non-conference games, split officiating. One conference does on-field refs, other conference does replay booth. So ACC refs on the field, SEC in the booth. Double whammy. Yeah, double. Exactly. So Tennessee was screwed across all points based on that officiating crew. So anyway, you want to get into some predictions? Let's go ahead and make some quick predictions, and then if we want to keep rolling with the show, we can. But we'll knock the predictions out now. Let me get this shared up. This is on BetQL. Kind of shows you the line, all that good stuff. We'll do our predictions now, but as always, the predictions are brought to you by BetQL. You can go over to the App Store, Google Play, download their app. They give you a huge advantage over your sportsbook by using their computer model. Like I said earlier in the show, they scan over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. And they also give you the reason why you should place that bet. What I like is when you go, like what I've got on the screen right there, when you look at Tennessee versus Tennessee Tech, you can see right there, it's showing you 1 star. That's a 1-star bet because they're not confident that you're going to make money there. But if you go find the 5-star bets, if you're an NFL guy, their algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets in week 1 for NFL games between Thursday and Sunday. So don't miss out on your chance. Go beat your sports book by using BetQL. Let's get into our Tennessee Tech predictions. Probably not going to be a whole lot of fun, but look, it is what it is. Yeah, I want you guys to put them in the chat too. Put them in the chat. If you're listening to this after the fact, drop them in the comments. Eric Ash Jones says, I rep on Facebook, but yeah, I don't do Twitter. Post it on Facebook too. We'll share it out. I just want to see you guys rocking that Talkin VAWLS merch. Any kid, you can go first. What do you got for this week?
I'm going to go 65-3. I think they're going to come out just balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, and I don't think they're going to let up. And it'll be 28-0 at halftime, and then Harrison Bailey will come in the second half and throw for 6 touchdowns. But
I can't wait till that happens. I can't. That's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen. You know it will. And then everybody will be telling us how great he played in the orange and white game and how great he played against Tennessee Tech.
I'm saying 65-3. I think it's going to be pedal to the metal. I do think we're going to see plenty of all 3 quarterbacks this weekend. So we'll be able to talk about it. We'll be able to see. I mean, obviously this is not the measuring stick, but if Joe Milton struggles against Tennessee Tech, then might be time for old Joe to take a seat for a bit.
I can't wait to make a quarterback video on Monday. It'll be great. Dauber, what do you got?
48-10. I think they're going to get rolling offensively and score a little bit, but I don't think they're going pedal to the floor the whole game. I think we're going to see a lot of running the ball. I still can't figure out this quarterback position. I don't know. It's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it. But I think defensively we play well. We get some young guys in the game. We try to get some game reps for, some second, third string guys, because that's what you're supposed to do in games like Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, I want to see a lot of secondary and offensive line guys. I want to see more. I'd like to see their deeper running backs too. I'd like to see what Whitehead and Beckwith can do. Also, I think Beckwith and Harrison Bailey are kind of the same. That's a lot of people love those 2 guys, but they're down for a reason. I do hope to see a lot of those guys this weekend, though.
John W. Bell, the fourth for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Father of Trinity Bell. Saw Trinity on the sideline this past game, and he's looking jacked. He needs to get healthy. We need him out there playing some football. 72-0. Go Vols. John, you're speaking my language, brother. These other two guys, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what you guys are looking for. I liked Indy Kid's pick a little bit better than Daubers. Tennessee Tech is 0-2, and they just got shut out by Furman this past week. Samford beat them 52-14. What was your pick again, Dauber?
48-10.
Samford beat them 52-14.
ETSU beat Vanderbilt.
Because Vanderbilt sucks. Are you comparing Vanderbilt to Tennessee? Dauber.
I'm just saying.
I'm going Tennessee 59. I've never picked a shutout in my life, but I'm going Tennessee 59, Tennessee Tech 0, because Furman just shut them out. Did. I think Tennessee should shut them out. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they give up something cheap late, or you know how it is. These games, you never know. But I'm still going blowout. I'm going shutout. I'm going Tennessee 59, Tennessee Tech 0.
48-10 is a blowout too.
I'll be disappointed with 48-10. I won't say disappointed, but
I wouldn't be happy. This chat will be on fire if it's 48-10. Look at that Bowling Green game. People ready to fire Josh Heupel after he gave up 6 points to Bowling Green. 48-10 against Tennessee Tech. Good Lord have mercy. Channel might get shut down.
I just hope it's a case, like we've said, a lot of guys playing. If we're still playing first string guys into the fourth quarter, it's an epic fail.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Gavin. I agree. I wasn't going to do it. I was going to say 59-3, 59-6, something like that, but I'm going shutout. It is what it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if Furman can shut them out, then Tennessee can shut them out. How about that? Any final comments you guys want to make about what you're looking for? What do you want to see on Saturday?
Yeah, I want to see Joe Milton hit a deep ball. I mean, I want to see Joe Milton hit a deep ball. I want to see someone push Alontae Taylor. I know this is not the measuring stick game for it, but I want those wheels to start turning where either he steps it up or somebody takes his spot.
Do you think they're going to come out and actually try to stretch the field and throw the football around, or do you think they're going to come out and hand it off? I'm curious to see what they do with guys like Cooper Mays. Like, to me, I think you sit Cooper. Let him sit. Let him get 100% healthy. You know, if he's 80% and you're playing Florida this week, you're gonna put him out there. But I think you need to rest him and make sure he's 100%. Same for Jabari Small. I would not risk Jabari Small. Something like that. Like Jalen Hyatt, I'm assuming his injury was concussion, so he'll go through concussion protocol. If he's clear and ready to go, I'd play him. But something like Jabari Small with a shoulder, or Cooper Mays with an ankle, I would rest those guys, get them ready to go. Otherwise, as far as game plan, I'm going to go out there and sling the rock and put up as many points as I can. If I'm throwing 60 deep balls to see if Joe Milton can finally hit one, then I'm going to throw 60 deep balls.
Yeah, and I would like to see. I think if Cooper's close, I'd get him a few reps in, because game reps are much better than practice reps. I mean, there's also the risk. So it's kind of a damn if you do, damn if you don't on that. But if he's close, really close, maybe a few reps. But I don't know. What reward is there for playing against Tennessee Tech? We need him a lot worse for Florida than Tennessee Tech. There's a lot of those backup linemen need the reps too.
I got to do this because everybody says I have a man crush on Joe Milton. Eric asked Jones, if Milton does hit a deep ball at Tennessee Tech, it won't be that difficult.
If you watch the first two games,
I don't think you can get any more open than Tillman's been the last couple of weeks. I don't care if you're playing Colonial Heights Middle School. They're not going to be any more open than they were. So we'll see. We'll see. The Southern Life wants to know what type of food we're making. I was going to make wings before the Bowling Green game, but they didn't have the wings that I like at the grocery store, so I didn't make them. Dauber's a foodie too, though. What are you cooking up, Dauber?
I will be at the game Saturday with work in the box.
Yeah, but you were talking about a previous game.
Oh, I did some buffalo chicken stuff last week. It's pretty good. I got a pizza oven for my birthday this year. That thing's pretty killer.
How hot does it get?
Like 750, 800 degrees. It's ridiculous.
And it's like portable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Welcome to Talking Food with Boogie and Dauber. We'll get Indy Kid out of here. Evan counts for 5. Hopefully Bama beats up on Florida for us. 52-7 Vols. The Sammy P for 5. Going to this game will be my first time in Neyland. Very excited. Well, go find Dauber. Go find Dauber and make him buy you a smoky dog. If you find Dauber in the stadium and you take a picture with him and post it on social media, I'll send you a free T-shirt. Want to see how Young look? I probably should not have said that. One T-shirt to one person.
Ain't gonna find me.
Want to see how Young looks and pray Milton hits a deep ball. Go Big Orange. Yeah, we're all just waiting. We're all waiting on that. Skids is VFL for 2. Fun Fest Colonial Heights. Y'all boys from the Tri. Yeah, put it together. Just look at the Indy Kid shirt. Oh wait, you can't see it. There you go. Yeah, you can probably put 2 and 2 together. Skids is VFL for another 2. Cause shame. Sullivan South High School class of 2012. That's interesting. Interesting indeed. I won't say anything else to that. We're going to wrap this thing up. Any final comments you guys want to make before we get out of here?
Enjoy the scrimmage. It's gets real after this week.
Yep.
Folky and Powell shirts. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Myself and the Indy Kid will be live immediately following the game on Saturday. No pregame show. Sleep in, get your rest, get dialed in for the game. We'll be live immediately following. Got more content, tons of videos coming your way this week, so make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done so yet. Smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. But that is going to wrap it up for this one. He's the Indy Kid. Oh, wait. He's Dauber. He's the Indy Kid. I'm Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs howl like me, poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated